There's a glass case in the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, and most people walk right past it. Inside is a shredded scrap of papyrus, brown, torn, barely readable. It looks like a receipt, in a way it is, but hidden inside it is something that shouldn't exist. A working logbook from the crew that built the Great Pyramid, describing infrastructure at Giza that officially isn't there. Not a myth, not a metaphor. A blueprint written by the men who used it. The fragments are catalogued as Papyrus Jarf A and B. They were pulled from a sealed gallery at Wadi al-Jarf on the Red Sea coast in 2013, stuffed between limestone blocks like trash. They're the oldest inscribed papyri ever found, roughly 4,500 years old, and they belonged to an inspector named Merer, who ran a 40-man boat crew in year 27 of Khufu's reign. For a decade, scholars treated the logbook as accounting, rations, shift schedules, cargo. But that reading has a problem. Merer keeps describing places at Giza that no map shows. If you want more investigations like this one, subscribe, because what's in this logbook gets stranger the closer you look. Clue 1. Merer writes that his crew sailed to a place called Roshi Khufu, the entrance of the Lake of Khufu. Egyptologists called it poetic phrasing. But Merer wasn't a poet. He logged docking there, day after day, under an official named Ankhof, the king's own half-brother. He wasn't guessing, he was recording. A lake means water, at Giza, in the desert. Clue 2. The logbook says his boat hauled limestone from the quarries at Tura and delivered it to the pyramid in 2 days, by water, nearly to the foot of the plateau. For decades, scholars dismissed it as symbolic, because there's no river at Giza. The Nile is over 7 kilometers away. Then modern science found something that changed everything. In 2022, researchers drilling sediment cores published evidence of a vanished branch of the Nile, the Khufu branch, that once ran directly past the plateau. The pollen, the silt layers, the elevation, they match Merer's route. Not similar, not inspired by it. The same. Clue 3. Merer references a depot, a controlled facility where cargo and men were processed under Ankhof's authority. That building has never been found. Here's where it gets strange. Between 2021 and 2023, a Japanese-Egyptian team ran ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity scans across a blank, flat stretch of Giza's western cemetery, a zone with no tombs, no structures, nothing. Except the scans came back wrong. Half a meter down, a sharp L-shaped structure, 10 meters by 15, deliberately backfilled with sand. And beneath it, between 3.5 and 10 meters deep, a second, larger anomaly, 10 meters square, that resists every easy explanation. It was built, it was sealed, and then it was erased. Excavation only began recently, and the reports trickle out in fragments. Tomb structures, a buried processional road, the deep chamber itself remains uncharacterized. No one has said what's at the bottom. Now, does this prove the most extreme version of the story? A hidden hall of records under the sand? Probably not. The grounded reading is that the L shape is an entrance shaft to an elite Old Kingdom tomb or storage complex, intentionally concealed. But that doesn't make the discovery ordinary. Someone at Giza built something large, filled it in, and left the surface blank in the most surveyed cemetery on Earth. And a 4,500-year-old logbook keeps pointing at infrastructure we still haven't located. If Merer's harbor, canal, and depot were real, then Giza wasn't a monument in a desert. It was an industrial port city, and most of it is still under the sand. So what else did they bury? The papyrus sits in Cairo, under museum glass. The chamber sits 10 meters down, still sealed, still unexplained, still waiting. If this one got under your skin, like the video, subscribe, and watch the next investigation on screen now, because Giza isn't done talking.